Don't know.
Tim, did this day go about like you thought it would? Better, worse? How did it go?
No, I had no expectations. I knew we had some guys that we could possibly move. And which direction we were going to go, I wasn't quite sure. So you just you do a lot of listening, and then you discuss each proposal and make what you hope is the right decision.
What was it like for you being in that chair for the first time? You know, you're the guy that has to make that
it was
call.
good. I mean, you know me. It's like it's what I have to do, right? So I wish I could enjoy things more than I do, you know. And I don't, but I mean, I do enjoy it. But he asked me that on the way down. I had a big role in Ottawa and in Anaheim, and I was the middle guy between the GM and the scouting staff that were in the other room, and this time there was no middleman. I was running back and forth, and but no, it was it's exhilarating. It was fast and furious, and I'd be lying if I didn't say I enjoyed 90% of it.
In the McNabb trade, is it just simply you need young forwards and you've got a surplus of young defensemen?
We need young players, and the two forwards that we got, the two forwards we got, we really liked their future. So that's it was the two players we were getting back. We thought very highly of. So it wasn't a position thing. It was the two players, and I didn't come in today expecting to trade draft picks. But in saying that, I knew we had a lot of draft picks, and I knew that we were getting if I made that trade, I knew there was a possibility of getting 2 seconds back. So it was we need young players at every position, but the two forwards we got back are heavy, skilled forwards that we hope going forward are a big part of what we are.
Tim, in looking over the overall franchise's depth chart, how far along might you be in this whole rebuilding stage, and when does the building stage start, and are you done breaking down this roster?
You're never done unless you're never getting calls, right? So no, I'm not done. I mean, this may be the roster we have for 5 years, depending on who's a free agent or whatever. But we have to add players. We have to create inner competition, and this is the start of it. So the start of building was, for me, was on Friday, and then today was a continuation of it. But there's still a lot of building to do.
What do you like about Cory Conacher? Obviously, you know him from Ottawa. What do you like about him?
He was a free player. It didn't cost us anything. He cares. He's a good person. He's a competitive guy. He can skate. There's lots of things I like about him on the ice. He's what I like to call a good complementary player. And if we had better players here to surround him, he'd be a better complementary player, as most complementary players are. But I think I don't want to say change the culture, because that makes it sound like there was something wrong with it here, and I don't want to do that. I'm trying to establish a certain culture, and that's you earn what you get, and his work ethic is terrific, and his character. So I want competition. I want one of our draft picks to say today that they're pissed off that we went and got Cory Conacher, and that's how you create competition.
The big names, the Moulsons, the Vaneks, didn't go till later in the day. Why was that? What was
No idea. I had a couple GMs that had guys like that call me and say, when are you getting rid of your guy so that I can get rid of my guy? I don't know where that logic comes from, but the big players that were on our roster that were available were traded. And the timeline, you can't get carried away with the timeline, because if you're in a hurry or anxious, then good things may not happen.
What time did the Moulson trade actually happen?
Oh my, I have no idea.
I mean,
I don't know what time it is now.
Was it real close to 3 o'clock? Real close to the end?
No, it was. I called Chuck. Yeah, I called Chuck Fletcher back and told him I wouldn't leave him hanging because I was talking to another GM, and I said I'd be back to you before 2:00, and I said I don't lie, and it was 1:59 on my computer. So I got it now.
Can you tell us about the Halak deal? Do you ever consider keeping him and what you're getting back?
I would have considered keeping him if there were no trade offers that I liked. So that was my course with all the UFAs, pending UFAs. Whether that's the right course or not, I don't know. But they were going to be traded if a suitable trade could happen. If that didn't happen, then we had some time here to evaluate Halak, for example, the new guy that already came in a trade, and then we'd make that decision. So I hadn't thought about the future with him. I think that was the next step, and right now we don't take that next step because he's not here.
A lot of people, they see basically a muddled mess. Fasching, we don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see when you look at things in the big picture? Because it just looks like there's guys going out, guys we don't know coming in, and who knows? You know what I mean? It's confusing to everybody else. What are you seeing?
If we made trades for the guys you knew coming in, we'd be very limited on the people we could trade for, I have to believe, unless you're like scouting on the side, right? So we make trades for the guys that we like, and Fasching is a freshman at Minnesota that was highly touted as a 17-year-old that had a down year as an 18-year-old, went in the 4th round for many different reasons that have been documented, and has got his game back and was a dominant power forward at the World Junior. He's a guy that I've liked for a long time, and we believe that he can be that type of player down the road. There is some chance in that trade. We're trading for 2 futures, and we're trading picks, and that's you have to look at what you're giving and what you're getting, and it's not a guess, it's an educated guess based on scouting, and he has a chance to be a top 6 forward if he develops properly. If he doesn't develop properly, he's an NHL player. I say properly to the height of his potential, but he's an NHL player. He's a power forward. He's got skill. He's got hockey sense. He's a good hockey player.
In a general sense, though, you can see it. Like you do have a vision of something.
I have a vision of something, yes. My vision of, I think that's why I was hired. So there's nothing to explain. It's I see something and I act accordingly. And what I see in him is something that I like. And but that boat won't sail for 2, 3 years, 4 years, and then you can praise me or you can criticize me, and I can take either. So.
Did you feel McNabb was going to be a fringe NHL, AHL defenseman?
I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. We had a lot of guys in the room that really like Brayden McNabb. So I think he's an NHL player. I wish him the best. Obviously, that team wanted him and liked him. So he's leaving. I'm not gonna worry about what he becomes or what he does, because that's out of our hands. So whatever development is left in him is in LA's hands now. So, but he obviously helped bring us what we believe are 2 very good young players. So God bless him. And if he becomes a really good player in LA, that won't bother me one bit.
It looks like you don't worry at all. You don't fret at all about the possibility of making a mistake. You see the deal, you like the deal, you make the deal.
We make lots of mistakes. But if you get paralyzed because you may make a mistake, then you're never going to make a deal. And you do your homework, you scout, you do all your background check that you can do, and that's with scouting involved in that, and then you make the deal. And no, I'm by these 2 guys now. I'm ready for the next thing. We just have to do what's right for these 2 guys to make them better, and let's go on to what we got to do, which is the GM's meetings, college free agents, and the draft. And that's my focus now. Today's over.
Are you surprised at how the goaltending market changed yesterday to today?
Well, a lot of goalies changed hands, so that's surprising that this late in the year that so many teams would feel they needed to make a change at that position. I haven't seen that before, but nothing surprises me. We traded a goalie and got a goalie, and traded him and got a goalie. So, yeah, I mean, trading goalies at the trade deadline that's tough. That's tough stuff. So again, you're going to analyze these trades that all these teams have made, including ours, down the road, and you're going to have a lot of X's and you're going to have a couple check marks, I believe. Yeah, that's it. Goaltending is a strange position, and it's a strange time to trade them.
Jim, you got in some of the guys that you got, Torrey Mitchell. I'm sorry, but they have 1 year still left on the contract. You've allowed is it fair to say you've allowed yourself the flexibility to continue? You know, with these guys, you can see what they can do, and then you allow yourself the flexibility of not being handcuffed by long-term contracts, or at least get a chance to try them out.
For sure. Being able to take Torrey in that deal allows you to make the deal. And I just called him and told him we were happy that he was here. He's a hard-playing, hard-skating guy that, again, fits the new culture. So do we go forward with him after next year? I don't know that. I mean, when they have a year left, that means that you have them. You're around them every day. You're not on the outside looking in, and then you can make the proper decision. And we need players. We need players that can play. We need players that can skate, and he's a guy that's going to come in here and play for us.
You mentioned you would have kept Halak if you didn't find a deal you liked. What did you like about the deal that you got from him?
I like the goalie that I got back. That plain and simple. He's a young goalie that I've seen for a long time. Played in the OHL, and for whatever reason, he's a backup there, and he's just not as important as he wants to be. And I think when he gets to feel some love again, or whatever you want to call it, and has an opportunity that he can get his game back. And in saying get his game back, his stats are pretty good. And right now on a good team, but not a great team. And at 25 years old, turning 26, he's got a background in in playing in top competition in his age group, and now it's our job to get him back to playing in top competition in his age group, and his age group now is the National Hockey League.
The player you got back from Manchester, is he going to go to Rochester?
Yeah.
You said this morning that you said no to a couple non-UFA deals. Were there a lot of inquiries for non-UFAs, or was it?
A lot of kicking tires.
Yeah.
So, you know, they check to see if you're up to the task, and if they can get one of your best young players for a bargain. And I don't blame them for that. That's good strategy. That's good stuff. And they didn't get them, so we held tight.
Did you have your guard up a little bit? I mean, you know that's going to happen coming in. They're going to try and take advantage of this young, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They think, I don't know if they think you're green or what they think, but just.
I don't know either. I didn't ask them, but
testing you. Yeah. I mean, did you get?
You're not. You guys aren't going to get me to speculate about anything. It's just.
In the general, were some of the offers were they ludicrous, ridiculous?
No. They tried to. They tried to make them enticing, but not enticing enough. Like they'd throw one good player at you when you wanted two good players. So I guess they felt that if they threw that one real good player at you, that you'd go back in your office and you'd think about it, and then you'd lower your price or whatever. And I think that's a great strategy, but you have a plan, you stick to your guns, and they're all still here.
You spoke earlier about trying to pull in prospects that were maybe from other teams that were maybe further along in their development. Is that where Deslauriers and maybe Neuvirth fit into things? And even Deslauriers is a guy who's changed positions, so his development may not be as far along as someone who may have played that position. But is that kind of fitting in with your?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we could have just kept those 2 seconds and then made the trade for 2 more seconds, and so then we have 100 seconds or 1,000 seconds or whatever it is. And I think Fasching's been drafted already. He's played in the World Junior already. He's playing college hockey already. Deslauriers is a first-year left winger, but if you look at his stats, he's taken that position quite nicely as far as goals, shots on goal, the way he plays, and he can still play the point and run your power play. So Those guys are a little farther along, certainly than the second round picks we would have, and we felt that was a good chance to take.
I see Klesla going to Rochester or coming right here.
We traded for him. He was down, so he's still down. That's where he's going. We're not in a position today or tomorrow to use one of our 4 call-ups on him. That we may later on, but today no.
Just overall, I mean, I know it'll take some years before we see, but overall, is today a good day?
I think it's a good day. I think the combination of the picks that we've added and the young players we've added, I think that it gives us a ton of ammunition now going to the draft, where there will be players available that aren't available on trade deadline day. That a number 2 24-year-old left winger is going to fall out with his coach after they lose in the first round. Whatever the case may be, there's always good young players available at the draft, and we have still a ton of picks to be players in that. We have young players to be players in that. We were a focus today, I think, and I think on draft day we can, if those types of players are available, we can be a focus again. And if they're not available, we use the picks and hopefully keep adding top young talent.
Okay, everybody.